I broke up with my boyfriend because he screamed at me for no reason. My boyfriend, 25M, is upset that I, 25F, won't call my dead boyfriend my ex. When I was 17, I dated someone I was sure I was going to marry. His name was Brennan. We dated for 4 years before he got diagnosed with leukemia and died not much after. I was heartbroken and confused. Brennan was only 21. And I knew that if he didn't get sick, we would still be dating. Definitely married by now. So when talking about him, I would still call him my old boyfriend, but would say was instead of is. 2 years ago, I met Jared and we started dating. I didn't ever talk about Brennan. Jared knew about Brennan. We just both didn't feel like it was necessary to talk about our old partners. Also, my dad never liked Jared. He was civil around him, but maybe a bit passive-aggressive. One day, Jared talked about a girl he dated for a few years. So I brought up Brennan. Yeah, I dated my old boyfriend, Brennan, for 4 years. Your old boyfriend? Yes? Some silence. And he started looking angry. Are you still in love with him? I love you, Jared. Then why didn't you say ex? Because we never broke up. But he died. That hurt. I started crying. I haven't talked about Brennan in so long. And he made me feel bad about it. Just call him your ex. He was yelling and freaking out. He got up from the couch and started just yelling at me, telling me that I am in love with someone who doesn't exist. This pushed me over the edge. I packed my bag and grabbed mine and Brennan's dog. We got an ESA when Brennan started to lose himself. Jared started yelling at me and didn't stop until I pulled out of the driveway. He was blowing up my phone, and I had to turn it off. I called my mom on my work phone and told her everything. And she was somewhat on Jared's side. I turned around and drove to my dad's house and began crying and apologizing and telling him he was right about Jared. So that's where I am at. It's my second night at my dad's house. Jared only occasionally texts me, so I apologize. But I don't think I did anything wrong. Edit 1. Thank you, people. Also, almost everyone has given me the idea of calling Brennan my late boyfriend, which for some reason I have never thought of. Edit 2. I'm breaking up with Jared. The only problem is, I don't know how to. I don't want to talk to him or look at him. I guess ghosting would be my only option. But I want to be the bigger person here. Edit 3. Mom update. My dad knows me very well. And he knows one thing that can make me feel better no matter what. Food. He drove me over to Waffle House, which is super empty at 1:30 a.m. minus the college kids. And we talked. He asked me to explain step by step what happened. I told him everything and made sure not to forget about Mom. She told you that Jared wasn't wrong because you still love Brennan? Yes. I hung up. I didn't even care that she still would have let me stay at her place. I started crying. And yeah, I am going low contact with my mom. Edit 4. I couldn't sleep. Jared will not stop texting me. So I finally ended it. Jared, please stop texting me. We are done. You wanted me to call someone an ex? Fine. Jared is my ex-boyfriend. I am coming over tomorrow at noon with my dad to get my stuff. You can come by Wednesday or I'm donating your stuff. He left me on read. I just don't know what to do. I feel like I should never be in a relationship again because Brennan still holds a piece of my heart. This was mine from a subreddit that I cannot name. But it got taken down because I said boyfriend in it. Hint. Started with an A and ended with an A. So I was engaged before my current partner. We were together for 3.5 years. He killed himself. It wasn't a breakup for us either. My current partner and I have been together for 3.5 years. I told him fairly early on about my former fiancé and he understands the rocky dynamic there for me. He understands that part of me loves him. former fiancé, and hates him all at once alongside loving my current partner. He gets that certain things trigger memories of my former fiancé. Billy Joel songs are a big one. And that certain days are hard for me. His B-day and death date. But he also knows I love him. My former fiancé isn't a threat to him because he's dead. Jared is not a good match for you. Move on. I'm glad you've ended things with Jared. Let me tell you what a healthy relationship looks like. My parents were married for nearly 40 years before my dad passed away from cancer. A few years later my mom remarried. On my parents' anniversary or my dad's birthday, my mom will quite often cry and be very emotional. You know what my stepdad does? He hugs her and asks what he can do for her. He doesn't shame her for feeling grief because he's secure enough to know that it isn't a competition. Her love for my dad is completely separate issue to her love for her new husband. He knows this. And so he just loves her through it all. That is the kind of partner you need. Lol, I liked the text. Jared is my ex-boyfriend, rolling on the floor laughing. Damn girl, you savage. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Jared seems to be really damn insensitive. He claims to love you yet hurts you so bad, and when you're crying he's concerned about stupid stuff. Like you not calling your late BF an ex. This is exactly why we should always see their actions and not their words. He is all talk, so I'm really glad you got out of this relationship. I'm sure you'll find someone who would really love you and not care about stupid labels more than you. I saw your AITA post recently and I was hoping you realized how disrespectful this man is. I'm sure getting over him will take some time, but you'll be happier in the long run. Many older people have their spouse who died and later they either remarried or started new relationship. And that works. And it works because people aren't jealous about dead spouses and see what's right before them. Would things be different if no one died? Sure. But reality is someone did, and that's just that. You carry them in your heart, but you are still alive and you move on with someone else. If he can't understand that you loved him and you were with him, then it's better this way. Love doesn't end just because someone died. He apparently didn't lost or loved anyone, so he doesn't get that. Your dad is right. Jared is bad news. A good boyfriend would have understood the situation. And how traumatically you lost your late boyfriend. You're allowed to always have a special place in your heart for him. And it doesn't preclude you from loving again. Not everyone is going to understand the enduring type of affection and love you have for a loved one who has passed away. It takes maturity to not be jealous and to understand the special place that those memories have. You did the right thing. Fuck Jared. Sometimes you never get over loving someone who has died. You can still love him in a way and love your partner fully. The right person will understand this. Your BF had the temperament and understanding of a 9-year-old. I wish you the best with the breakup. Possibly date someone slightly older and certainly someone less selfish. Jared desperately needs to stay your ex-BF. He abused you verbally, emotionally, and mentally with no remorse. You deserve apologies, not him. You did what you needed to do. I noticed that you said you both didn't feel it was necessary to talk about our old partners. I don't know if that was assumed or said out loud. I feel the difference here is that an old partner is someone you likely had closure and separated from naturally, and what you had was a different situation that has left a deep impact on your life. You dated Jay just at the 2-year mark, and that may have been too soon, honestly. But what really worries me is not talking about someone that you are grieving. It is important to not lock those feelings away. You went through something very challenging, and that is now part of your story of life, and you are allowed to acknowledge those experiences. I would talk about be with people. Or a therapist, as a death like this can leave difficult emotions that locking them away isn't healthy. Now I am assuming a lot here. Going only from your one statement. Your ex is wrong about love. Love is in our memories and lives as imprints like footsteps in our souls. It is part of our story which makes us who we are. The more love we experience, the more we have to give can be one way to look at it. Love isn't exclusive to one person or one thing. It is something we feel for friends, family and others, so celebrate the love you have and have experienced and ignore the ignorant comments of Jay, who clearly is unable or unwilling to be empathic about this. I wish you well and hope that life moves forward towards better people in your life that bring you joy. It sounds like you made the right call and have an amazing support system in your dad. I would encourage you to think about the reason you want to go LC with your mom. If the only reason she sided with Jared was because she feels you still love Brennan, I don't think she was actually on his side for wanting you to call him an ex. It sounds like she just worded things poorly. You know better than we do. But if it's an important relationship, give it a little time and talk about the whole situation with her. I know this is late, but I think you're making the right choice. Dealing with a death of so is very hard. It is true that they will always hold a piece of your heart. I would suggest that once you do start trying to have a relationship again, you should disclose this information and how you feel about him. It's totally understandable to feel the way you do. You deserve to be happy and find a so. Get time to grieve fully and then find someone who is understanding of those intense emotions. I'm so proud of you for knowing that his reaction was totally uncalled for and toxic. I hope you find happiness and peace. Do you still love Brennan? Of course you do. You always will. He will always be captured in your heart as he was for those 4 years. You, however, will one day move past that point in life. Brennan won't get that opportunity, so you will do it for both of you when you are ready. While everyone is already jumping on Jared, I think I have an actual advice for you. You really need to process your loss and let your old boyfriend go. Every other of your relationship has to compete with an idealized version of a boyfriend. You clearly still have those what if thoughts, and these are pretty hurtful for every future boyfriend. Even though I bet that Jared's insecurities lead him to such toxic behavior. The only thing that you can influence is your own growth. You need to face your loss and let it go. And in future relationships, you even should talk about your old boyfriend, but always give your partner the securities that they are still your number one, otherwise the relationships will be doomed. Take care. You clearly still have some grieving to do. Jared's a dick, he shouldn't have reacted like that. Jared is a jealous weirdo. Good riddance. Maybe take things slow on the dating field, hun. At least until you heal a little more from the passing of Brennan. It's good that you dumped Jared, he's a total poss. You have a good dad. You're a widow. Dating a widow is not for everyone, and this guy definitely doesn't have it in him. I feel like I should never be in a relationship again because Brennan still holds a piece of my heart. There are plenty of people who can understand that and won't be jealous of a dead person, but instead give you the space to have that in your relationship. So you had one bad experience. He isn't representative for the rest of humanity.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.